So we are back, another episode, Meet the Innovators. I'm your guide, Shemuel Namaste, and I have one of my favorite people here, Miss Lani McCollough.
Hello.
The Sky Phoenix. Tell people where you're from, Lani.
Lani McCollough. I'm from Spartanburg, South Side, all day. Y'all know how I am. South
She
Side.
said Lani, Toad, what do you call it?
Toad Partwell,
Toad,
not Tobias. It's Toad Partwell.
It's a difference now.
It's a difference. We didn't have air.
Lani serves with us on In the Middle. And she loves to call herself the mom of the group.
Mother.
She's not the mom at all, though. But tell us your experience on In the Middle, the things, what has that brought to your life? And
Oh, the connections I've made. Like, he tells me I'm one of his favorite people, definitely one of my favorite people. The connections I made with Kristen and Jeremiah, Josepha, I mean, just the whole squad, it just gives me layers. It gives me a way to express myself, and I am the mother. You know I'm the mother of the group. He knows this. I'm the mother, so. But just the outlet that it gives me to be able to talk to so many different people with so many different views, it just grew me as a person.
Okay. That's beautiful. Now, you've been doing this particular work for a while now. Sky Phoenix, birthed from a particular triumph that you have experienced in your life. Tell us a little bit about Sky Phoenix.
Sky Phoenix, everybody always asks me where the name came from. So my name is Kalani, which means beautiful sky in Hawaiian. And everyone knows the story of the Phoenix, the rise from ashes. I definitely was in a Phoenix state of my life. So we combined that name and came out with Sky Phoenix when we launched it, because we wanted to definitely give a name to where I was in my life. And how Sky Phoenix was birthed was, I lost my daughter 6 years ago in a tragic accident on Halloween. A lot of people in Spartanburg know about the accident, but it changed me. It forever changed me. I tell people I didn't live until my daughter died. Like, I was just content. I was existing. But it just gave me this hunger to want to do more, be more. All the things she wasn't going to get to do, I take it as a personal challenge to do all those things.
Yeah. Now, what's the necessity of that? Most people say, you know, something bad like that happens to them, and their first immediate thing is to run away or to hide or not to push through. Why put more work on you, as people would say, from that? Well,
I mean, that was like the Oedipus of everything I was going through. I went through the death of my daughter, then I went through a very, very public and horrible divorce, and I did all those things. I ran away, I hid, and it didn't work. So it's like when you're trying to find your way through something like that, it's like you try anything. It's like whatever Band-Aid you can find at that time, and then from it was birthed this purpose. I could just hear her saying, like, come on, Mom Dukes, man. Like, when I wanted to quit and just throw in the towel, I heard her say it every time. Come on, Mom Dukes, come on, pull through. And me pulling through stopped being about me. When I had the aha moment that everything I was going through wasn't even about me, that was like, so this ain't about me, because selfishly I wanted to be like, I'm hurting, this is me. Right. But, you know, it was God that was like, this ain't about you at all. Right.
Tell me about the people around you going through this. Like, what is your relationships like with the people, family members, friends?
Definitely changed. Like, to know my story is to know it's a Tyler Perry play. Like, for real. He looking for me, for real.
Holla at us, Tyler. You know we here.
I mean, this is a whole Tyler Perry play, because I dealt with hurt, anger, betrayal. I had it all. I had the whole Lifetime movie. And it made me re-examine connections. It made me re-examine friendships. So the people who have weathered the whole ride are tried and true. Like, they're solidified. I know these my real people, because it's easy to have people that, you know, back in the day, I was the house on the block that had the parties and everything was hype, and I was always the happy-go-lucky person. But when the party over, the lights come on, and you get real, the people that's still there helping you clean up with the trash bags, them your real people.
Right.
So it definitely changed how I look at relationships. I got some, I call them my squad, my tribe, the pound. Y'all know who y'all. They give me life. My kids, I wasn't a person who liked new relationships. I had the same friends 30 plus years, but now like when I make the connections, I'm not quick to call you a friend now. That's not a word that I just throw out there.
Right.
But the connections that I make, I appreciate them so much more now because this Lani is the real Lani, like the dirty red, the sky.
So I think a lot of women feel these days just the image of their husband they have to walk into.
That's it. I never even had a separate identity. When people referred to me, they said Eric and Lani, Lani Eric. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, you know, I didn't know who I was.
Right.
So a lot of the things that I was afraid to say, couldn't say, like, here come this person that just
dirty red.
She say it. She had no filter whatsoever.
Does that liberate you for being I would say introvert? Really, you're keeping thoughts inside. Now you're going on stage as a spoken word artist, and all of the things you probably would not say in conversation.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give it right here. What is that? What is that emotion? What does that feel like?
Oh, I mean, if you ever seen me perform as Dirty Red, I don't even sound like myself. Like I take on a whole nother voice. It's just like. Liberating ain't even the word for it. It gives me this feeling of get it all out. Like if you know spoken word, when we up there, it's not just poetry, it's therapy. Like we perform and we writing and speaking our heart, and Lani couldn't do it. But Dirty Red, see, like you seen me, I was like Lani about 3/4 of the evening.
Right.
Then right before I hit stage, that was Dirty Red. That wasn't even Lani no more. I was like,
honed in.
Yeah, that
came
was,
out there with your book, and you was like, look here.
Yeah,
I got something to say.
Yeah.
And I think you have inspired so many women to step into a particular space and be creative in this area, for an area that it's for one time it's probably the unseen area. Creating programming, creating scholarships that you put your own money up in. Tell us the disadvantages and advantages, the things you've learned.
I've learned how to say no. That was the hardest thing because I say yes to anything, but I had to learn that I have to refuel myself because when you have the motivational speakers and the people who pour so much into doing things even like this, we forget ourselves. So I had to kind of learn self-care. So that was the most important thing. It's like when it's kind of like you give, and then you're this empty vessel. When you have to reboot, that's one of the things that I cherish now, my me time. Yeah. And I learned that it's okay to let the wall down. Right. Like I couldn't do this if I still was the person 5 years ago who wasn't trusting, ran from love. You mentioned love and I was skirt. So I couldn't do that. I had to be completely transparent. That was the scariest part, being just here it is.
Right. Tell us about One Love. One
Love, Markeisha. When I first thought of Sky Phoenix, really it was her like constantly saying, you got to do something with this. Because I'm a comedian, a spoken word artist. I had 1,000 ideas. And she was just like, we doing it. You can't give her an idea. Like you can't just mention it, like slightly mention it, because she was running with it. So I knew her. She was a baby when I met her. She was like just starting poetry, and she looked up to me, which is hilarious because I looked up to her, and I was just like, she's phenomenal. And she goes so hard. She goes so hard. So like when we first started, she was like, I'm your executive assistant, I'm your administrative assistant. Second year out having the annual Sky Phoenix event, I announced at the end that she was no longer my assistant, but the co-founder of the Sky Phoenix project, because I couldn't look at her as an assistant anymore. She goes so hard for Sky Phoenix. She goes so hard for every vision that we have, every event that we have. She is the legs. She's the vehicle of it. You know, she just don't like to be out front, so I'm the front person. I'm the front person for it. So
over this next year, tell other people the things you got going on. You know, any programs, performing? What's happening?
So of course I got In the Middle. We shoot in season 3 In the Middle. Shout out to Jeremiah Drummond.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps me busy. And we have the Chop It Up series on Sundays at Head Lounge, where we do grief and loss. We do relationship issues. The podcast is relaunching. My co-host Chris Smith, as you all know, October is my annual Sky Phoenix event where we raise money for the Agape Scholarship, Spartanburg High School Vikings. Y'all already know. So it's just, I try to stay busy. I try to put in as much work as possible. People ask me all the time, like, when you gonna sit down? Never. That's probably.
Thank you for watching. This has been another episode of Meet the Innovators, another exciting episode with Lani McCollough of Sky Phoenix. Make sure you follow her on Instagram at Sky Phoenix. Like the page on Facebook for all your news and alerts. Thank you for your time. A big shout out to the Ballard Center here at SMC and Bruh Mentoring for sponsoring this beautiful space. And thank you for viewers like you that keep this wonderful program going. Thank you for your time. We out.